Welcome back, my beautiful friends. I'm going to show you today how to make huevos rancheros. So right now, before I start, I just go ahead and file my knife. I clean it off just in case. And also just wipe down the area. That knife sharpener does have a magnetic um, debris picker upper thing, so there shouldn't be any issues, and I clean that daily. So I start with 4 tomatoes, 3 jalapenos, and half of an onion. I do try to do like that magic trick where you snap your fingers and poof, it's all done, but that doesn't work. So I just, I do it a few times, but it just didn't work with the way that I did the video. So, anyways, I dice up the 4 tomatoes and 2 little cubes just to make sure that when I cook them down, that they all cook down, that they don't, kind of stay hard. The whole point of this is to be a little mushy but still have texture. So I just take the time to chop them up. Not fine, but not super huge either. So there I am, just chopping up 4 tomatoes. So, fun fact about me is I do live in Texas, but I am from California. Texas, what we've noticed is they have a lot of love for the spice cumin, and I really never encountered that in anything in California. So I don't use cumin. I omit it from my recipes. Actually, my husband doesn't like it, but you can always use a tablespoon of cumin in this recipe, and it does add that Southwest flavor in there. But I particularly don't like it. Again, I didn't grow up with that, so I don't use it. Another fun fact about me, if you've seen my other videos, I do have an allergy to spice, so I don't get to eat this version. Um, if me and the kids are going to have it, I do a separate one without jalapenos and just all the regular spices because I'm not allergic to that. I'm just allergic to heat. Anything with heat, super spicy, does make my mouth and my face break out in hives. A fun little thing that my last pregnancy gave me, and another fun fact is my daughter loves spice. So there you go. She took my ability to eat Mexican food away from me, and she thoroughly loves it. So one thing I do with my jalapenos, everything is washed, just so you know, is okay. Let's try to make sure that I can, chop them up real quick. And nope, it didn't happen. So, like I told you, I do have an allergy to spice, anything spicy. So, I do wear gloves. I also am very careful with where the seeds and the tops and trash all land. A reason being is the seeds hold spice in them, but they also have like a nutty, earthy flavor too. So I don't want somebody to have to bite into the seeds. It's not a fun thing. So I do de-seed them and or devein them and throw all that away. I am really clean with the board. I'll take everything off, all the seeds, and really make sure that there's no seeds anywhere. So I just clean off all the seeds off of the knife, and then I go and I clean the seeds off. You can do that under hot water. I don't like to waste water, so I just make sure I thoroughly clean it. And I do rinse off my gloves afterwards until I put the jalapenos. I think actually take them off, but I will keep them on while I'm working with jalapenos as far as until I get them into the pan. So here I am just cleaning everything up, making sure that everything kind of lands in there in the bag. It's the bag that I got from the grocery store. I don't like to have a lot of those with me or bring them home just because I don't like to be wasteful and I want to be mindful of everything. But I do have to use gloves. I do have to use gloves when I'm cooking, so there's that aspect of it, but it's for my own safety. Especially when dealing with spicy food. You'll see it. I will wear them when I am dealing with meats also. And in between, I'm always washing my hands. So I'm thoroughly keeping, you know, aware of being sanitary. So here I chop the jalapeno into four. I de-seed it, devein it, and then I chop those little 4 pieces down into little slivers. And as I'm going, I'm looking for extra seeds or anything like that that I need to throw away. So chop, chop, chop. Usually I will save the jalapenos till the end. I'll do the onions and everything else first. But for some reason, I'm not sure why today I decided not to do that. Could just, I don't know. But anyways, so I chop them all up and then I dice them up into little pieces. I am not a fast chopper, but I am a methodical one. So I do make sure the size is exactly what I want. I don't think speed is necessary. I don't have to be whizzing around, chopping around, and things flying everywhere so that my meal can come out good. I figure that as long as everything is consistent and it doesn't matter how long it takes, it'll come out great. But actually, this is a really quick breakfast. I make, like I said, this renders a lot. So with the extra, I put it in baggies, just enough for one meal, and I put it in the freezer, and I'll use it within the month. And so that gives me quick, easy recipes to make because I make this and I also make a breakfast burrito with it. Totally different from the way you're going to see me set it up now. I'll show you that in a later video, possibly sometime next week. So, or actually the following week because there won't be any videos next week. So here I am just chopping up all the jalapenos and making sure that they all are, the same size. When I go to cook, I do throw in my jalapenos and my onions together. Reason being is they are the harder vegetable, so or fruit, however you want to call it. So I only need half of an onion. I'll go ahead and put that separately. Now anything that I do discard, I do compost and then I do feed to my chickens. So the majority goes to my chickens, but I'm not sure if you know, chickens are allergic to onion, so they don't get the onion parts. So I just go ahead and peel off the onion skin, making sure to get as less of the onion as possible. And so in this one, it came out really good. And then now I'm just going to chop this onion up. The same thing with my onion. My husband doesn't like, he loves onion, but he doesn't like it thick. So I chop it up very fine. In this case, it is going to render down. It is going to get soft and translucent when I cook it. But I just have that habit of cooking it and cutting it finely. So this isn't going to be too fine, but it's going to be a little bit smaller than the other stuff that I've chopped up thus far. So again, I chop up half of an onion, and I later on will have my recipes put on a PDF file and send those out, to anybody that subscribes or sends their email to me. Send out some free recipes on a PDF file because it's always easier to do it that way when you have something that you can see. Now, if you hear any noise in the background, that is my dog in her kennel. She wants to get out. So I save the rest of the onion. I do peel off that skin only because I've seen it get bad faster. So I'm not about waste here. I save everything that can possibly be saved and used later. So there is the Holy Mexican Trinity: tomatoes, jalapeno, and onion. And so this is how I go on forward. I do cook and chop and try to use as little amount of plates as possible. So you'll see me using the cutting board and not, separate anything. So I do go onion first and then jalapeno. They all go together. And I mix it. You saw me add avocado oil. We try not to use vegetable oil in home. We always are with avocado oil, and that brand is a really good clean brand that we use. So apparently now you may hear some barking. My dog has decided that the air is going to attack me and kill me, and so now she has to save me from it. It's windy here today in Texas. So I'm not sure if I mentioned that you want to make sure that you mix your onion and jalapeno up so that it becomes translucent, and that'll just soften up the jalapeno and of course the onion. So I will mix it and then let it sit for a minute and then mix it again, only because there's no point in like continuously mixing it. You kind of just like start making mush at that point. Now I do cook 3 meals a day. I do cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. There are occasions, maybe once a week, that we will get something, but it's usually from a like a Mediterranean place or stuff like that. But we try to cook at home, so I try to make as many meals as possible at home. So I'm always experimenting with different stuff. So now, as soon as the onion has turned translucent, I add in the tomato. And so I want to mix that up and kind of get it to like a mushy consistency before I add any of the wet ingredients. So I add 1 tablespoon of garlic salt to it, half a tablespoon of, I believe it was onion powder. Yep. Half a tablespoon of garlic powder. And actually it was supposed to be 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. And I just mix it all in. I'm going to add 2 bay leaves to it, as well as I'm going to add 1 can of tomato sauce, 16 ounce. That is how I open my tomato sauce. I do not like keeping my fingernails long, only because of baking and cooking and sanitary purposes. So I add that in. I do add in about 1/4 of a cup of water to my can and then add that in as well. Princess Ducky is going to go ahead and give you some audio here too. And so I let that start boiling, and then I add 1/4 tablespoon of oregano to it. So I'll apologize in advance for the background noise and maybe any hums or ohs. I'm new to this, but I do have, I think, a cooking method that people like and, would adapt to. I look for easy, healthy, fast recipes. I don't think cooking should cause that much stress. I never learned how to cook until I was an adult. Possibly didn't become a good cook until about my 30s. And now I always wanted to be like the kind of cook that my mom was. She could whip something together and just, she didn't measure, she just threw in spices and stuff like that. I am now like that. I can smell it. Although I can't taste everything, even spicy stuff, I can smell when it needs something extra. So I guess my sense is enhanced because of that allergy that I had. So now you want to fry an egg. So egg frying is a little bit of a trick here. I make sure that, if you saw before, I fried up 2 tortillas, but I didn't fry them. I added a thin amount of oil in there, and I actually went ahead and just softened them. So they were regular tortillas out of a bag, and I put them in oil, and you'll see them bubble up, and then you flip it over. That's the consistency you want for your huevos rancheros. You can do them hard and crispy, but that consistency is really good. It's what the consistency you would use for making enchiladas. So here I use that same oil, which is just a thin amount of oil, to make eggs, sunny side up eggs. I do put everything on a towel, clean towel, to get the excess oil off of it and drain it. And so now here is the consistency that you want for the huevos ranchero sauce. You want to make sure not to include your bay leaves in the mixture that you're putting down to plate. So I'll put the mixture down first, the 2 tortillas now. I'll add beans next that are already warm and done. And then I will add the eggs on top of it, and then the huevo ranchero sauce on top of it. I usually add cojeta cheese. You can add queso fresco on there. And then I add some, here in Texas, they have HEB Mexican sour cream in a squirt bottle. And that's what I use. I like it because it's a little bit thicker than the other brands that I've encountered, and I like the taste. So there I am just finishing and plating it up, and that's how my husband will eat them. So there's the cojeta cheese, just sprinkle it on top. And that's usually what you see the corn man use on corn. Now everybody thinks it's Parmesan cheese. It's not. It's cojeta cheese. And then that's the Mexican sour cream. I really do like it. It is different from American sour cream. So again, my style is easy cooking. I add avocado and I do put salt on there. So my style is easy cooking. So follow me for more recipes on all my social medias, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.